What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Miltrick Media. I am sitting down with music industry coach and mentor all the way from Australia, Kristy James. Kristy, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure. I am fantastic. It's a nice morning here. So,
yes, we are in Brooklyn currently, but you are in Australia, a couple hours away from Sydney. You said you're 14 hours ahead of us. Wow. You got the sunlight. We got the moon coming in the window in Brooklyn podcasting studio, and you have this and the sun coming in beaming.
Yeah, I do have the sun. Especially, it's great because it's winter actually, but we've got the sun today, so it's nice.
Oh, it's winter in Australia right now?
It is. It's freezing.
I just thought that it was universal June right now. I thought it was just. I didn't even know that.
No, I find it amazing when I go to America. Like for our winter, I go over for your summer. So good.
Yeah, why not? Like, why not get out of the winter when you can? The winter's not as fun as the summer.
Nope.
But that's awesome. So let's dive right into it. So you are a music industry coach. You help artists get their career started with a focus on releasing their first song or their first project. So your main music channel, your main social media channel is Shape Music Online, where you put out great engaging content to help artists get their foot in the door in the industry. So when did Shape Music Online first start?
So Shape Music .online is like the .com part of it, but Shape Music wasn't available for social media. But Shape Music started about just before the pandemic, actually, probably in the 12 months leading up to that. I started to focus a lot. Well, I had a lot of artists coming to me, asking me questions, saying, "How do you do this and how do you do that?" And I found that a lot of artists were going through a similar thing that I did, which was really not knowing what to do or the process, and kind of getting a lot of this incorrect information on the way, which costs a lot of money, by the way. And by the time they were ready to release their music, they weren't doing it properly. So I thought I really need to maybe start a YouTube channel or something just to help some of my friends. So I did that, and then my producer at the time said, this happens a lot. You should put together some sort of course on this. And that's kind of when I decided to start Shape Music, because I actually have a music school, and I was going to start an online course around that, but my passion for this kind of outweighed that. So yeah, about a year before the pandemic, and then I got more serious as I learned that I was no longer going to be able to play and tour just because of a medical condition with my arm. So I kind of threw myself into Shape Music.
Yeah. And that's great. And speaking of your background, you are a music artist as well. You released music, and your 2017 album, Raw, it hit the top 5 on the Australian album charts, correct?
Number 2 behind Keith.
Number 2. That's amazing. So yeah, you've been in the music industry for a few years. You've released music under your belt, and then now you're getting into the coaching space. So you have all this valuable experience that you can give to artists, which is amazing.
And it's been more like 25 years, not just a few years. I released my first EP when I was 14.
That's amazing.
So I started writing when I was much younger. So I've only ever had one job outside of music. So yeah, it's just been music.
No, that's great. So then getting back to Shape Music Online. So after you spoke with a colleague, a producer, where they said, a lot of artists, they sometimes have trouble getting all these steps correct. So you decided to dive right into it, make this YouTube channel, make this content. So when you're talking to a new artist, just getting ready to start, if you had to start in one sentence, let's say an artist came up to you and said, "Kristy, I have this song ready to go, mixed and mastered. What is the first thing I should do?" How would you explain it to them in the most simplest terms? The first thing they should do or set their sights on?
Yeah, the first thing that I always suggest to do is put pen to paper and do a bit of research. But I always start with a bit of a fan base. If you've got music already, I always like to start with trying to get fans on board for a little while. I wouldn't jump straight into releasing, but a lot of people do. And then I would usually suggest 3 months. So 3 months of fan base building, and 3 months to prepare that release. Yeah. So, I would say that they need to learn a lot about marketing before they try to release their song.
So that's a great point. That's what I was going to ask you next about marketing. So you say put pen to paper, 3 months basically, do some research, because now I don't even know the number. I've heard a rough number where 60,000 songs a week are uploaded to the streaming services. It's just...
Oh, it's insane. I think it's even more than that.
It could be even more.
Could be a day. That could be a day. It's huge.
So besides what you just mentioned, how do you think new artists can cut through the clutter in 2022's music business? What do they have to do to give themselves a leg up?
Marketing is where you get that leg up. See, a lot of people say your music should speak for itself.
Yeah.
And that's great when it does, and if it does, but how are you going to get people to listen to it? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. For the first step, it doesn't matter how good your music is. So your marketing plan needs to set you aside from everyone else. Now, the good thing is we are all unique. So we all have things that set us aside. So for me in this shape music business, I was trying to be real proper and look at how everybody else was, super professional and using all of this technical jargon. And I sounded like a dickhead. Excuse my language, but that's me. That's how I talk. So for me, I wasn't gonna be able to make this work if I was going to try to be somebody else. Yeah. So what I always suggest is pick out what other people see about you as being your unique qualities. So for me, I always have a list. Like, I'm really down to earth. I'm loyal and I tell it straight. So I don't like crap. So for me, that's what I'm going to basically throw fire on. That's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to tell you straight. I'm going to tell you in a way that is down to earth. You have to do that same thing as an artist. Who are you as an artist? So whatever you can find that is unique about you. So you might be super funny, or you might be like me, like really down to earth, or you might, I don't know what it might be, but we've all got these unique qualities, and it's those that resonate with people. So again, down to research, it's those things that resonate with people that you need to realize and then throw fuel on that fire. And what I mean by that is pick out those things and really clamp down on them and show that through your marketing, show that through your social media. People are looking for a genuine connection and they want to know who you are, that you can't just hide behind something fake because it just doesn't connect.
When I need to get things done throughout my week, I've made lists. When it comes to music releases I've done in the past, I've made lists. You make templates, make documents where you write down and you realize I have to accomplish all these things to have a successful release. You want to reach out to outlets. You want to make sure you get the mixing and mastering done correctly. You need to outsource for, let's say, graphic design for the cover. You want to hire a video editor or a music video director. There's all these moving parts that are important. And like you said, it does come down to the marketing. And you mentioned a great point. That is a great point. You need to hone in and figure out what are some qualities that you may have that you can share with your developing audience. Because, I agree with you and you're right. People are looking for a genuine connection. There's so much out there nowadays. There's so much in social media.
Absolutely.
How are you going to cut through the clutter? You want to make a genuine connection. Because I feel like with fans, it's not just fans anymore. They could become your family. They could become your friends. They're not just followers anymore. It's like there's so much out there. If they choose to invest even just a few seconds of their day in you, that's special because there's so much to be distracted by. Would you agree?
That's right. Yes. And I think that that's a mistake a lot of artists make, is they think I've made this music, so people must listen. That is not the case at all. They haven't, you have not commanded their time. You don't get to command their time. You have not earned that.
Yeah, it's like a privilege if they decide to give your music and content attention because why are you special? Like, you didn't earn it yet.
That's right.
But it's hard to navigate.
Marketing.
Yeah, you're right. Comes down to marketing. So what is the biggest lesson that you teach your current students or any students that you may have following your school and your lessons?
My biggest thing, well, I teach many things, but the biggest thing that I try, or the biggest message that I try to get across, is to do the work. Because this is the thing that held me back. I could know, and eventually I did know quite a lot, after doing it wrong for 2 decades. I learned a lot. But if I didn't do the work and actually implement what I had learned, it will not work. So if you think that posting on social media once or twice a week is enough, or just releasing the music is enough, then it's not going to work for you. You have to be consistent. So consistency and doing the work are the 2 big things that I really focus on.
Yeah.
And that comes down to my second thing that I focus on that a lot of artists aren't interested in, but really should be, and that's mindset. It wasn't until I completely changed my mindset that I was able to turn into this person who could create habits, who could create consistency, and who could do the work, because it's actually harder than it sounds. I mean, I used to say, you know what, just do the work. But, procrastination, lack of motivation, who knows what's going on in your life, and the fear behind putting it out, the time, trying to find the time, the worry of money. It all holds us back. But at the end of the day, if you don't take that leap and do that work and be consistent about it, it's not going to work.
Yeah, 100%. You need to take risks. You need to take that leap. And sometimes you kind of just need to run at fear straight ahead. And you could learn a lot from it. You never know what may come out of it on the other side. You need to take the risks. Right. 100%.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your ebook. You have a free ebook out right now that people that are interested, they could find on your social media platforms and your bio. It is called Music Career Roadmap. So let's discuss your ebook.
Yeah, so it's very easy to find. It's at shapemusic.online/ebook. And the ebook is basically the 5 steps that I realized I had to take to make sure that I had a first successful release. Now, I'm actually creating a checkoff, just like you were saying before, you become overwhelmed. I'm creating one of those at the moment to go along with this. But the ebook covers things like how to build your brand, how to create artwork, how to market that release once it's out there. So it's 5 really important steps that you need to understand and take and implement before you even think about releasing your music.
Yeah, and that's great. And you also put out a lot of video content, free content on your YouTube currently. What kind of videos can we find on your YouTube channel?
Actually, I think I might have over 100 now. I'm not sure. But it talks about, and again, we're focusing now very much on the first release, but I've spoken a lot about music business. So talk about music business quite a lot, music marketing, cover music mindset, and even budgeting. So like there's a whole series on there about how to budget as a self-employed musician. So, it's all of these helpful pieces of content that not only I wish I had, but a lot of my students say, I don't know this, or I don't understand that. And that's when I create those videos. So basically, anytime anyone on YouTube asks in the comments, or my students ask a question, I put them down in a Google Doc, and I create content from that. So there's stuff, from the industry, basically, the release industry, recording and releasing music.
And that's great. You're basically giving out free game, because I feel I'm in a similar headspace. I went to school and got a degree in music industry because I wanted to find a way to monetize this career, to make a successful music career. And as I'm navigating the industry and I'm learning new things along the way, I want to be able to share that with my peers, other producers, friends, because even though I went to school for it, and I've been in the industry, I've only been in the industry since 2014, but even since then, even since the last 3 years, it's changing so much. It always changes. You have to constantly look out for new trends and keep learning. I feel to have success in the music industry, you have to just keep learning, which keeps it fun in a way. Like it's kind of intriguing. It's kind of fascinating how it's always changing.
Yeah, but I think that's true for all businesses.
Yeah.
They're all changing, and you've always got to learn. I think that has to be a part of your mindset, a part of who you are, is to want to learn, to want to challenge yourself, to want to adapt, to want to try things, especially as a musician. You really have to want to grow and be better. You can't just go, okay, well, this is what I do, put out my music, see how it goes, post on Facebook. You know, it is about that learning, and that's part of the journey of having a successful career or being a successful artist. It's part of the business side of it as well.
100%. For people that want to learn more about your journey and even how they could get involved with learning from you about the music business, this is all mentioned in your free ebook, correct? Music Career Roadmap. What else would you like to share with the audience in terms of what else would you like to share with the audience in terms of what they would be able to learn from you if you become their mentor? They sign up for your coaching business.
Yeah. So eventually I will have a group coaching program. But at the moment, with my courses, what you will learn is structure and framework. So it's one thing, all of this information is available for free on the website everywhere. So if you had the time and you had the drive, you could put that together. But information is only information. What we're looking for and what I want to give through the courses is transformation. I want to take somebody, and this is what the courses do, take them from where they're at and take them to where they want to go. Yeah. So that needs a framework and that needs structure. So, and plus, my courses also have a platform that allow you to leave comments and interact and learn that way. And some of them have a special Facebook group where they're like-minded artists. So it's it's something that I work on, like you said earlier, to try to create a family with, to try to create that environment for artists to come and have a framework and structure so they know what they're doing, B, a journey and an endpoint for their transformation, and C, that community.
That's great. Yeah, that sounds great. To wrap it all up, where can we find you on social media? Let us know all of your social media handles.
Mm-hmm. You can find me on Instagram, which is Shape Music Online. And Facebook is, again, Shape Music Online. Very hard to get the Shape Music. And you can find me at shapemusic.online is the actual website. So, and then YouTube is Shape Music Online, I believe, as well.
Great. Yeah, you have a lot of great videos on that.
I made those handles a while ago now, so I'm pretty sure.
I got you.
But yeah, that's where you can find me, or you can type in Kristy James Shape Music into Google and you'll find something. If you type in just Kristy James, you'll find all of my music. So
great, yeah.
If you want to find this stuff, make sure you type in Shape Music.
Oh, of course. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with the audience?
Just what I said earlier, which is, remember, you have to be consistent and you have to do the work. And if that's fear that is holding you back, and this is probably a terrible way to end the show, but this is something that I always say to think about, is think about when you're on your deathbed. What do you wish you had have done? Will you care whether you were fearful or not in that moment? So it's basically, the message is live every day, even though you're fearful, because you never know what you can achieve until you do it.
100%. That's honestly a great way to end the show. It's motivating because, listen, not every day is guaranteed, and you kind of just have to go at it. You need to take risks if you want your life to change for the better. Kristy,
totally.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show. A great conversation.
My pleasure.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, you've been putting out some great content. I'm excited to see even more of it and to see where it leads us both on our journey and career in this industry. But thank you so much for joining me all the way from Australia. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Miltrick Media. I sat down with Kristy James, a music industry professional, music business coach. Make sure to check her out on all social media platforms. Shape Music Online. You can find her on Instagram, YouTube, and even if you want to look up her business, more of it, and her music, just Kristy James. Type it in Google. I'm sure you'll find everything. Kristy, thank you so much again, and thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you soon.